Wednesday, 2025, and we will be holding the North Ridge public hearing. This public hearing is called to order at 7 p.m. Clerk Charles, please call the roll.
Trustee Ara,
Here.
Kennedy,
Here.
Micah, Posh, Sprinkle, Trustee Carr,
Here.
President Nettemeyer.
Here, that completes the roll. We have a quorum. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we begin our public hearing tonight, I'd like to partake in a moment of silence for remembering 24 years ago, the lives that were lost, the families and first responders whose lives were forever changed on this day, and also the courage that our nation demonstrated in the face of that fact. Let's all please bow our heads and thank you, everyone. Okay, we will now move into tonight's public hearing. The public hearing before us tonight is on the land exchange involving the village owned property at 123 Market Street, what we refer to as Gilmar Building, and the vacant parcel across the street from that at the northwest corner of Market Street in Town. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll
Thank you,
second.
Trustee Sprinkle. Thank you, Trustee Kennedy for the second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? And our hearing is over. I'd like to turn it to the Administrator Grace for a presentation.
Thank you, President Mayor. Okay, so this evening, what brought us here was the consideration of property exchange, the proper legal process to do this. To get here tonight, we advertised this potential transaction in the Chicago Tribune, notifying everybody that there would be a hearing this evening, and now we're at that point. As President Nettemeyer mentioned, we are here to discuss the property known as 123 Gilmar Street, which everybody knows has been vacant for quite some time. It's been at the end of Market Street near Archer Avenue. First floor had a few uses in the past, but it is commercial. And then there was office suites on the second and third floor. That building fell into disrepair. And the village obtained it last year for the back taxes. So we obtained that building through the no cash bid process. When we obtained that building, we had it appraised at its current use. We received an appraisal report at that time of $475,000 for an as-is market condition. After some consideration and looking at the possible best uses and highest and best zoning for that building, if you guys remember, we then conducted a zoning hearing for that building. The village of Willow Springs was the petitioner. And we changed the zoning to a multi-use. The purpose in that was so that when the building became viable again, it did not go back to the high tax bill that it once was, which forced it really into bankruptcy. And why I sat there unused for so many years. So that hearing took place. It was approved by our zoning board and approved by this board of trustees. After the zoning was changed, we now have a multi-use, which means that the second and third floor of that building are now zoned for residential, similar to the condo buildings that it's zoned to. And the first floor is remains commercial use. Once it was reappraised at the new zoning, we now have a new valuation of $500,000 in its current as-is marketable condition. So we actually received a higher appraisal report because of the change in zoning. So then what we did is we started as a board discussing what we should do with that property. We determined that obviously it is not in the business best interest to maintain ownership of the property and we should dispose of it in one way or another. At the same time, it was expressed to us through board members as well as community members that they would like to see the large green space parcel across the street remain green space and remain being used for village events and future village development park space. So we reached out to the owner of that property to see if they had an interest in selling it or any interest in a possible trade, and they did. So, we reached out and requested that that trade take place. At the direction of this board, I also requested that they pay for a municipal parking lot on that vacant lot as part of this transaction. They have agreed to that. This evening, you have an ordinance for your review that is part of this pack. And high level on that, to give you an idea, what we're looking to do is swap our building with a valuation of $500,000. The land has a current valuation of $630,000, so it is appraised at a higher value than our building. In addition to that higher value, they will be building a parking lot that is depicted here as, I believe, exhibit C of the ordinance that we're looking to utilize so that we can expand parking on Martin Street. As we know, it's already crowded, and once this building, becomes viable again, don't want to add that problem. So we are agreeing to have them build that lot and then transfer ownership to the village. So we will maintain it, we will own it, and it will be ours. We will allow them to utilize it per our codes for parking. So that means, currently we don't allow parking after 2 AM. That would remain in effect in that parking lot. I'm not changing anything of what we do, just allowing them to utilize it during business hours. So that is, that's basically the basis of this trade. It would be a no cash from either party. It would be a land swap plus the parking lot. With a net increase actually on the village's side. Attorney Peck, is there anything else that I'm missing or that I should disclose on some we should?
No, I think just so that everybody's clear as well, that on this transaction, the village will get a title policy ensuring that property of the new property is indeed in the name of the village, and that there are no other encumbrances on the property.
Correct, right. Each parcel will be free. We're also guaranteeing the same on our trade, but there's no liens against our property and they're equal. And if this is considered this evening, obviously, once the hearing is done, it's on the agenda for board consideration. What that allows is for Attorney Peck and I to execute this transaction. It will take, it's not an overnight process, obviously, it's real estate, so this has to proceed with the agreement and take care of it. I would expect to move quickly. I know that they are eager to take ownership of it, but it would still be, however long that the real estate transaction takes, which could easily be 30 to 60 days. I think this is a fair assessment. The intention, because it is changed in zoning of the new potential new owner. Like I said, the zoning has been changed from the second and third floor. They tend to have an engineer go through the building once they have ownership of it. They down a structure, and things like that as due diligence, but they haven't gone further. So now we would go in and complete an architectural review and see what the layout can be. Their expectations, it could be anywhere from 6 to 8 units that would be built out on the second and third floor of that building. And then obviously the first floor would remain one large suite, which could be, produce a storefront, it could be a restaurant, it could be any type of commercial type purpose. So that's kind of open to what. I guess that concludes my presentation. Unless there's questions from the board, I can try to dig deeper.
Well, one of the things that's also talked about in this agreement is additional parking spaces that will be on, I'll call it the Gilmar property, that are depicted in the diagram exhibit C. And I thought that was included as part of this agreement, that they were going to do that. So there would be additional parking as well that they're going to provide beyond the parking lot.
Correct, yes, their parking agreement is all on exhibit C, which is page 21 of the document you have in front of you tonight. And it does show the parking lot that I referenced, as well as the proposed additional parking on what would become their private property.
Okay, so Administrator Gross, thank you for that detailed explanation and presentation, and I think we have started to do this, but at this point in the hearing, I would like to open it up to questions and comments from the board members.
No questions, I believe. Usually wind up taking, I believe.
The construction cost of the parking lot would be anywhere from 50 to probably 175. And that's in addition to the $130,000 in that.
That's us.
The other piece is just getting that property back on the tax rolls. It's good for everybody, the schools, the town, everybody.
That's correct as well. Property taxes have not been paid on that parcel for a significant amount of time.
Any other questions from the board? I'd like to open it up for questions from the public. Anybody from the public wishing to ask questions on this proposal?
You might have talked about this right before I came to the development, honestly, value wise, like what's the difference in?
Sure, I'll be happy to state it again. The evaluation of the Gilmar building in as-is condition is $500,000. The valuation of the vacant parcel across the street is $630,000.
And when you're talking about parking, where would they put extra parking in?
The proposed parking lot is, would be on the vacant parcel that's currently there. We would put it, at the front of that parcel near Market Street.
You're talking about like around one
No, you would enter it from Market Street.
Marcus.
You know what? Why don't you?
Yeah.
Come up there, Seth. Let me just show you my diagram because it'll be so much easier. You know what? I'll even go further. You can have that, tear it right out now, and that could be yours now. So they're looking at putting, this is Market Street here, this is Archer, this is where you come in, so the proposal would be right here. They would build it on our behalf, and then go over to the village.
Okay, so basically the parking lot would be on the parcel that would become the villages.
That's correct, it'll be a village parking lot, this will be a municipal lot, once it's built, it will be,
Whatever it used to be this way. Because I remember when they were gonna do the townhomes over here, that they took up some of the parking that was.
This is all. This entire piece, there's a concrete strip that runs across there, that is village limits for what Market Street is. Everything from here in is private property owned and deeded to this building.
I think the other thing that is being offered was the connection is sidewalk. To Archer.
That's correct as well, as part of the parking lot installation, there is a proposal to have the sidewalk continue that's already there for the townhomes. Would come all the way up Archer Avenue, it is also depicted on Citizen.
Anybody else wishing to ask questions to the public?
Do they have to pay taxes on all that property?
No, there are no back taxes on that property, that was all cleared when the village took ownership of it. That's how that's over, the county municipality takes ownership and works to make it viable with it.
Because I know, like you said, they're.
That is exactly, yeah, what happened to it, right?
Okay,
Do we know that business going in the Gilmar?
It is, there's no proposal on the table for that, but it is on for commercial, so it could be, Gilmar's, market, similar to what was there. It could be a restaurant, it could be a coffee shop, although we have a curtain across the street, so I don't see that open. But it could be anything along those types of, any type of business that has sales.
I think that you're the first floor area, square footage.
Square foot, is that in here, or again, the appraisal is not, I don't know offhand, I'd have to look at.
I didn't see it in.
Yeah, it might not be in there, I believe it's just gonna be in the appraisal report.
I know Long Handle, proposed to Gilmar, yeah. They did like baby showers.
Yeah, the entire first floor is vacant at this point, everything has been removed, so there's not much there, but,
Now, I was wondering how.
yeah, if you don't mind, I can, it's gonna be buried in here, I'd be happy to give you that if we can keep, is it a per shape? Okay, I'll look it up and get you the square foot. Yeah. Yeah, it's a large building.
So that 630,000 valuation on a vacant foot, that will increase no doubt when they function as parking lot, that should increase the amount.
It would.
The potential for revenue from being charged for parking at some point if necessary.
If we were to do something like that, absolutely, yeah. But it would be a, brand new lot, probably $150,000 construction cost. That would become the village's property as well, yes.
Whatever they like, You like something?
There's no lighting plan for it, no.
Any other questions? Does that conclude questions and discussions from the public? From the village board? Okay, we will move to any open discussion. I'm sorry, I will ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Springer for the motion. Thank you, trustee Kennedy for the second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the hearing is closed. Any discussion other than this, that anyone wishes to entertain right now? Public comment. I will ask for a motion to adjourn the hearing by trustee Ara, seconded by trustee Kennedy. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting, hearing adjourned at 7:16. Okay, since the public hearing has been adjourned, we can proceed right into our village board meeting. Madam Clerk Charles, I know we call for, sorry. Calling the village board meeting on September 11, 2025, order at 7:16. Madam Clerk Charles, please call the roll.
Trustee Ara,
Here.
Kennedy,
Here.
Micah, Posh, Sprinkle,
Here.
Carr, President Nettlemeyer.
Here, that completes the roll. We have quorum. We'll move to number 3 on our agenda, which is disposition of previous minutes. We have the meeting minutes from August 14th in our board pack. Is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make the motion.
By trustee Kennedy, second by trustee Sprinkle. Discussion and questions on minutes. Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote for those, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Carr.
All ayes.
No report this evening.
The only thing I have this evening is, the food pantry is gonna be Tuesday, September 16th. Again at 3:30 to 5:30 at our community center, and everyone is welcome. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Reports of officials, village clerk.
There's no report this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you, village treasurer.
Just again, another good month in revenues and compared to a lot of other ones, we did some declines on sales tax revenue, so it's very interesting for us, so. And all the total numbers running and some are looking very favorable.
Thank you, Dan. Reports of standing committees, finance and administration, please, trustee Ara.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to approve item number 781. Warrant 25-0-09 dated September 11, 2025. Payroll and fund expenses totaling $720,956.71.
That's the motion for the warrants. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By trustee Kennedy, discussion?
Just an update. It's kind of large, but over 50% of it is related to payroll, which is 3 payrolls in this warrant. Just on time now, and couple times a year. Other larger invoices because of timing also, for $90,000 in garbage disposal costs, which are routine, typical health insurance, and then we had a payment, routine payment for the MWRD card that was included in some of the highlights, the larger spends.
Any more discussion on the warrants? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Sprinkle,
Aye.
Carr.
All ayes.
Just another topic, I'm part of the Veterans Commission. Along with trustee Kennedy, and we kicked off a program related to veteran bricks with the new memorial out in front. And I'm pleased to announce that an order just went off for 14 veteran bricks, which should come out in a couple of weeks, or we should get them back, or the beautification commission should get them back in about 2 or 3 weeks, and we can get those installed. But it's just how this program is starting to evolve and people are starting to recognize it. So I think it's really a tribute that we're doing that and people are noticing. And that's completes my report.
Thank you, trustee Ara. Public Safety Committee, trustee Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam President. I have no report tonight.
Okay, we will move to, Municipal Building and Grounds Committee is trustee Micah. He's not here, but as a Parks and Rec Commission, he did ask that I share some updates about the upcoming events for Parks and Recreation. So I'll do that now. We have our movie in the park this weekend. It's Friday evening. It's at Lions Park. It's at 7 p.m. The movie is Goonies. And I think it'll be a fun time. The weather's supposed to be beautiful, so please join us if you can. And then the next morning, it's our fishing derby at Healing Waters at 10 a.m. 10 to noon, is that the right time? Yes. And so that, again, is at Healing Waters, and it should be a fun event. I think there will be hot dogs and at both events, and it'll be a good time. I have flyers up here as well for anybody who's interested. So that I will include as part of trustee Micah's report, and then we will move to Public Works Committee. Keith, did you have anything to share for Public Works?
We're actually preparing for lease season, unfortunately. Coming right out for our plan winter. But that's what we're doing right now, and I just want to add here that next Friday is will be in the park at Willow. I know that. The different.
Annie McKay.
Thank you. We will move to license and franchise committee, trustee Springer.
Thank you, Madam President. I get a few applications for sign permits from the office located at 8424 Spring Road. There's two wall signs, one measuring 18 by 93 and the other one 24 by 124. They seem to be within requirements, and I approve those permits. That concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Springer. We'll take those up in action items. Appreciate the report. And finally, we have building and zoning, trustee Carr.
Mayor, the month of August 2025, we issued 46 permits. The job cost for those was $2,338,412, with a permit fees of $60,780 for August. And for the first 8 months of the year, we've issued 183 permits with a construction value of $6,146,456, resulting in permit fees of $170,419. And that includes the report for this evening.
Thank you for that. We will move to action items that dispenses of the committee report. First action item is a resolution to approve 2025-R-10, a resolution to adopt and allocate funds for an outdoor fitness court as part of the 2026 National Fitness Campaign. So as a bit of a background, we had received some guidance from the community board expressing an eagerness to continue our commitment to enhancing our parks and adding fitness to Lions Park. So Administrator Grace did some research and about the options that are out there. And from that, we arrived with this option before us tonight. Fitness courts are part of the National Fitness Campaign. They construct these accessible outdoor fitness courts that provide circuit training, and there's a digital component where there's an app that provides workout plans and challenges, and it's a pretty impressive construction. And to find out more about it, if you would like to do so, that can be found at nationalfitnesscampaign.com. So what we have before us tonight is a grant. Administrator Grace identified and applied for a Blue Cross Blue Shield grant to help fund this project. And we were awarded, based on that grant application, $60,000. So this resolution before us is the grant. And then additional funding would be needed in the amount of $172,000. which we would aim to cover through additional grants that they are working on, as well as 2026 budget. The program timeline gives us 5 months to secure additional funding and, move forward with the project. So this resolution is something that is needed if we would like to formally accept the grant and move forward with learning more about this opportunity. That is the background for the resolution. May I have a motion to approve it?
I'll second.
We have the motion by trustee Sprinkle, the second by trustee Kennedy, and now I will entertain a discussion.
Well, you sent me a link, so I had more information, and I was impressed by what it has to offer. The other thing is, as you mentioned, it's, anybody could go up there, get the QR code, and it's gonna give you a challenge. So it could be used up by anybody, and it's also my understanding that anticipating putting it in Lions Park because of the space requirement.
Mhm.
I don't know where Lions Park, that's been decided. But
It hasn't been decided, but we have talked about options for placement. Administrative Grace, do you want to expand on it?
Sure, the ideal placement for it would be, there's a walking path that kind of separates our ball fields and our play areas now. If you were to continue on that path towards the north, right as it takes its curve, the equipment would be located in that grass area there.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that way our pathway brings you right to the new fitness area.
Good, thank
That
you.
also was reviewed and approved by the fitness campaign. They do have to approve your replacement location. That is a location they've approved.
You know, Countryside has something very similar to it, and it gets a lot of use. I asked those guys over there, so.
It'll be way nicer than Countryside.
It does look a lot nicer.
That's to that point, this is a project that is, they partner with municipalities, and so if you were to go on our website and if you could find additional municipalities that have partnered with them that are nearby. One is Willowbrook, if I'm not mistaken, has successful, and the British have also successfully partnered with this campaign, and they have fitness courts that are being used now. And it's been successful for other municipalities. Any other questions for the board? Okay, let's do a roll call vote on the resolution.
Trustee Art,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Hi,
Sprinkle, Carr.
We will move to the next item, which is ordinance 2025-0-15. This is related to our hearing, which we have just had. This is approving and authorizing the exchange of real estate. That being the village owned property of 123 Market Street and an adjacent property vacant across the street at the northwest corner of Archer and Market Street. May I have a motion to approve the ordinance?
make that motion.
By trustee Kennedy, by trustee Sprinkle, discussion on this? I would just add, and this was covered, I think, in our hearing, but at this point, the action item of approval of this ordinance would not complete the transfer or transaction as Attorney Pack and Administrator Grace has stated. It would allow the village the authority through Administrative Grace and Attorney Pack to commence the closing process, and the closing process, much like any other real estate process, should take 30 to 60 days roughly. Any questions from the board discussion? Okay, roll call vote please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Hi,
Sprinkle, Carr.
All eyes on that one. Approved. Final action item tonight, consideration to approve a sign permit for Dunkin' Donuts located at 8424 Willow Springs Road. Trustee Sprinkle covered this in his report. I will ask for a motion to approve the sign permits.
I'll second.
Trustee Sprinkle, second by trustee Kennedy. Questions, discussion?
Just a quick one. I think these are pretty much similar in size, the new signs versus the old signs. The old ones were electric, the has a lighting behind it. This one's gonna have lighting behind it as well, so they're pretty much, they're not exactly the same. So they couldn't change the lenses, they actually had to change the stuff.
Because of the size.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Sprinkle,
Aye.
Carr.
All ayes and that is approved. Any old business the board wishes to entertain? New business? Public comment?
Actually, you can sign that and look at the sheet of it.
It's okay. Did you wish to make public comment?
Okay.
Carol, could you please go up front, please?
Not that I don't need to be involved. I'm just wondering what these are, property, because it's looking pretty bad. Out there. Is there any plans for it?
My knowledge, the property is currently for sale and nobody has submitted a business plan or a current application for it.
So are they the current owners responsible for kind of keeping it up a little bit? Or is there a sale?
The area to the east of it is a bit overgrown, that is not owned by them, that's a different vacant parcel, if that's what you're referring to currently.
Part of that.
I'll take a look at it, I haven't seen my vision. They cleaned it up a while ago, and it's just a vacant canyon, but I'll take a look at it.
But that's not.
We can check.
We'll take a look and see if there's any violations, but it is up for sale.
So I'm just saying. A little bit. I don't know.
Right, it is up for sale.
I know they're building some new houses up at Grace Lutheran Church up on Knowlton. How many people are that going in there? They have 2 up there. Is there gonna be 2 more? 1 more, or nothing's been set up yet?
There's currently 2 that are under construction, those are each on their own lots.
Right.
Was it a month ago?
Yeah, that's.
In that area, this meeting, we did subdivide another parcel, and so I was some construction there. See 2
So I
lots
don't think
instead. It would be 2.
That.
On a separate parcel from what's being built now, just in the same couple.
So then just right to the south of it, the 2 that are there.
I'm not sure, I don't want to say south is the correct direction, even though I'm standing there, but in the same couple block area, yes, there was just another parcel that we allowed them to subdivide, it was 100 feet wide, and then now 250 foot wide. It's approximately, just not,
They're doing 50-foot wide property.
that is cool, yes.
And what's going on by where the old Watson house was? I see they were knocking on the walls, they were down something going in there, or they're just cleaning it up?
That was approved several months back, so, for the zoning hearing,
Oh, I didn't. Okay. And for the business for, I was just wondering, would you have like some special insurance or something, if that goes in?
no, we do not. It would be insured as, covering our general liability insurance, and, park equipment itself will be covered, and there are, would be added to our policy as well.
Well, because I'm just wondering, because I know I've asked for many years, and I want to talk to you about this before, in the winter time, I know it's gonna, I know it was ice skating. I said, I didn't get that, because of insurance things, but,
Yeah, our insurance carrier specifically advised us against an ice skating rink.
because I mean, this
Not
is
so many
what
words.
things too, so I'm just wondering if that were inclusive in that same type.
This court would get added to our policy. In terms of ice skating rink, we have the caution against liability for that.
Now, I don't have to use all. She must go maybe, anything else to go, about a speed bump or anything, no, to. Thought about that, I wanted to get to the venture, maybe summer.
Consider, yeah, we know Milton is, not village road. But on your side, I think where you're talking.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, it's
So by,
yes.
okay,
Okay,
thank
all right,
you.
thanks.
All right, we have no need for executive session. I'll move into village president report. Don't have a lot to report on tonight other than, for seven birthdays, because we always have to do birthdays. Happy belated birthday to Treasurer Dan Denny. We celebrated his birthday late last month. And then Attorney Pack, who celebrated birthday earlier this month. Commissioner Irene Hawkins is here, has a birthday today. So happy birthday. Are you today as well? August 30th. Happy belated to you, Carol. And finally, last but not least, later this month, Clerk Charles, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Events I covered during trustee Micah's, report, so I'll just add those again. Movie in the park, there's two, one this weekend and next weekend. Fishing derby, and I have flyers for that here. And then, as Clerk Charles mentioned, the food pantry, and finally one that we haven't mentioned yet, I don't think, Lioness Pancake Breakfast is Sunday, September 28th, so if you need tickets, I can help you figure out how to get tickets. But that is at Community Center, 8 to 12, as I said, on Sundays. So a lot of good stuff, coming up. That concludes the president's report. Things I have mentioned for this. Motion by trustee Sprinkle, second by trustee Kennedy, all those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:40.